Have you ever felt that life has put a weight on your shoulders, as if you were being tested at every turn? What if I told you that this difficult time could actually be a divine call to awaken your true essence? Stay with me, because today you're going to discover how to turn these challenges into a path of spiritual growth, and how to avoid the biggest mistake many make when God puts them to the test. The chosen don't face trials by chance. They are like a fire that purifies the soul and reveals our inner strength. And each test carries with it a hidden message, an invitation to see beyond the pain. As the Apostle Paul said, "Tribulation produces perseverance, perseverance, approved character, and approved character, hope." Now imagine if, instead of fighting challenges, you could understand their purpose in your life. Think for a moment. What is the lesson hidden behind your most difficult moments? In this video, I'm going to show you how to change your perspective in the face of trials, and how this change can open doors you never imagined. Are you ready to free yourself from resistance and find a path of light and wisdom? Then take a deep breath, because what you're going to discover today could be the key to transforming your spiritual journey. Have you ever wondered why certain moments in life seem harder to bear, as if a shadow hangs over every decision, every step? It's as if the universe, in its mysterious wisdom, is putting obstacles in your way, demanding that you go beyond your known limits. For the chosen ones, these phases are much more than simple difficulties. They are moments of trial, opportunities to show their true inner strength. But how do you know if you're being tested? What are the signs that your soul is being called to a new level of consciousness? One of the most common signs that you are facing a spiritual test is the feeling that everything that was under control is starting to fall apart. Situations that once seemed simple to deal with become complex, and answers that once came easily now seem distant. This can be distressing, as if the whole universe is conspiring against you. But in fact, this is one of the moments when the soul finds itself closest to God, because each challenge carries within it a hidden message, an essential lesson that needs to be understood. Another sign that a trial is coming is the repetition of challenging situations in your life. Have you ever experienced this? When the same type of problem seems to come up in cycles, whether in relationships, at work, or in your inner emotions, it's as if the universe is saying, "There's still something to be learned here." These cycles manifest until the soul understands and transforms. It's not a punishment, but a way of polishing the spirit, of shaping it so that it can shine even brighter. So don't see repetition as a failure, but as an opportunity to deepen your learning. There is also a deep sense of isolation that accompanies these phases. Many of those chosen feel that they are alone, that no one around them seems to understand the pain they are carrying. It's as if there were an invisible veil separating them from the rest of the world. This isolation, however, is not a prison. It is an invitation to self-knowledge, to look inwards and reconnect with your essence. In this silence, between pain and discomfort, God speaks more clearly. He reminds us that solitude can be the fertile soil where our true inner strength sprouts. Finally, in the midst of these signs, there is a call to surrender. When we feel directionless, without control over circumstances, that's when we need to let go of the need to control everything and allow divine wisdom to guide us. This surrender is not passivity, but the confidence that, despite the difficulties, there is a greater purpose behind every trial. The feeling of being pushed out of our comfort zone leads us to discover new skills, new ways of looking at life, and a new level of connection with the divine. These moments of trial are like a portal. They require courage to cross it, and at the same time an openness to learn at every step. But it is precisely here that many chosen ones make a mistake that can delay their spiritual journey and intensify the trials even more. When challenges arrive, it's natural that the first reaction is to resist. It's almost a human instinct. Faced with something that causes pain or discomfort, our impulse is to fight against it, to try to control the situation, to force a solution. But for the chosen ones, this resistance can be a dangerous trap. It's like fighting against the current of a river, whereas true wisdom lies in learning to swim with the waters, using their strength to our advantage. This resistance movement takes us away from the learning that the test brings and prevents us from seeing what is essential beyond the challenge. Many end up closing themselves off, trying to avoid the pain at all costs, creating barriers around themselves. But in an attempt to protect themselves, they also block the entry of the light and the answers they are trying to achieve. Resistance creates a vicious cycle of suffering, where the lesson that needs to be learned is repeated, but never understood. Think of it like a student who insists on skipping the difficult pages of a book, only to have to return to them again and again because they didn't understand what was being said. Life does the same to us when we resist its lessons. This mistake can be subtle and silent. Sometimes we convince ourselves that we are just fighting for our truth or being strong. But the truth is that we are actually trapped in the fear of losing control. It's easy to confuse resistance with strength, but true strength lies in knowing when to surrender, when to accept that some battles are not won with stubbornness, but with understanding and adaptation. It's not about giving up on your path, but about allowing the path to reveal new directions. A practical example of this is when we insist on maintaining a relationship or a job that is clearly no longer good for us, simply because we are afraid of change. We resist the idea that maybe it's time to move on, that there is something better waiting for us, but that we can only achieve it when we leave behind what no longer serves our purpose. Resistance keeps us stuck in worn-out situations, feeding a cycle of frustration and loss of energy. It's like trying to grow a plant in soil that no longer has any nutrients. No matter how hard you try, it won't grow. Understanding the difference between resistance and acceptance is crucial to avoid repeating this mistake. By accepting the test, something begins to change inside us. Things that seemed hard begin to soften, answers that seemed distant come closer. Life flows more lightly, and suddenly, what was an incessant struggle becomes a path of learning. Acceptance prepares us for an even deeper step, a moment of transformation and spiritual elevation, which comes when we learn to see the challenge as a teacher, not an enemy. When we stop resisting and start accepting trials as learning opportunities, something very powerful happens. Our perspective changes, and we suddenly see that the challenge is not a punishment, but a way to raise our spirits. But how exactly do we turn these difficulties into spiritual growth? It all starts with changing our outlook. We need to see beyond the surface of problems and realize what they are trying to teach us. Pain is often the instrument God uses to awaken us, to make us seek a deeper connection with our essence. One of the most helpful practices in this process is meditation. By quieting ourselves and looking inwards, we can hear that inner voice that is so often drowned out by everyday worries. It is in this silence that true wisdom reveals itself, and many of the answers we were looking for outside begin to emerge from within. Meditation is like a lighthouse that lights the way, allowing us to see clearly the lessons that life brings us. And by connecting with this inner wisdom, we realize that in every challenge there is a chance to become stronger and more aware. Another important aspect is the practice of surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up, but trusting that there is a bigger plan at work, even when we can't fully understand it. It's like sailing a boat during a storm, knowing that behind the dark clouds, there is a clear sky waiting to reveal itself. When we let go of the need to control every detail, we leave room for the divine to act in our lives, guiding us to where we need to be. This surrender makes us realize that we are not alone on our journey. There is a greater force that sustains and guides us. Acceptance, combined with the practice of surrender, puts us in a state of openness to receive the gifts that come after the test. It's as if life is rewarding us for our courage to face difficulties head-on and for our willingness to learn from them. This is when doors open and new paths emerge, often in unexpected ways. And the most beautiful thing of all is that, as we go through this transformation, our inner light begins to shine more brightly, inspiring those around us too. What was once pain becomes a testimony of overcoming and faith. From this new perspective, we understand that the trial is like a preparation, a refinement of our soul for something greater. By strengthening ourselves internally, we become more aligned with our mission, with the purpose God has for us. The energy that used to be spent fighting against difficulties is transformed into a powerful force that propels us towards our destiny. With each test we overcome, our soul rises, and what seemed like an unbearable burden becomes wings that take us flying higher. This journey of overcoming challenges and transforming pain into wisdom is continuous. Each step leads us to a deeper understanding of who we really are and our role in this vast universe. And so, with a lighter heart and a more open mind, we realize that life, with all its ups and downs, is a great gift, an opportunity for constant evolution. This is the true essence of being a chosen one, not just overcoming trials, but growing through them, always towards the light. Throughout our lives, we all face trials that at first glance seem impossible to overcome. But it is precisely in these moments that our strongest essence reveals itself, and the greater purpose becomes present. Every challenge you face is a reminder that you are a chosen one, someone with the ability to turn pain into wisdom, to find light even in the densest shadows. Remember, trials are not an end, but a portal to a new version of yourself, an opportunity to connect even more with the divine energy that dwells within you. Now is the time to take charge of your spiritual journey. If this video has brought clarity to your life, if it has helped you to see the importance of not resisting trials but learning from them, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss any content that can guide you on your journey of evolution. Leave a like to support this message and help it reach more people who also need guidance at this time. And let me know in the comments, what trial are you facing right now, and what have you learned from it? I'd love to know. I'm so grateful that you've watched this far, and that you've allowed me to be part of your journey. May the light guide you, and may you find the strength you need to overcome any challenge. See you in the next video, always in search of more wisdom and upliftment. See you there.